Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. So, anyway, look, wherever you are tuning in from around the world, thanks for joining. And if you're a regular, you know what to do. Smash that like button. This helps get this channel out to more people, helps support the channel. And I do really appreciate all of the amazing, kind, encouraging comments that I get. The fact that you take the time to post those, I really do appreciate that. And of course, all the questions, I do look to get those back to those as soon as I am able to. But I am in the Discord daily, the Stocks with Josh Discord, in the crypto channel section, interacting with the most amazing people, amazing community there. And so you can also check that out. And there are a couple of plans that you can sign up for the Discord. That's located below in the description of this video. It's also in my cheat sheet, which is also in the description of this video as well. Okay, so check that out. Before we get into the news, those of you who have emailed me for the trainings, I am still getting through the emails bit by bit. I've had a couple of people that emailed in, and you were in the top 20 to email. I have emailed you back. And so if you're waiting for an email, please make sure that you check your spam. There may be an email. Most people have emailed me back there. And so I'm slowly getting through these trainings and connecting with some pretty amazing people, I have to admit. Really incredible people that I've managed to one-on-ones with. And if you still want to do one-on-one sessions, you can join the wait list. Just need to email at the email address that is below, description below. I'll put that email address at the top there, and you can certainly email me there. And thank you for your patience for those who have emailed in. I will eventually get through all these on the list. Okay, we're going to jump into the news. Oh, and I did want to say regarding some airdrops as well. I believe the X Empire airdrop hasn't happened yet. They're doing this chill phase where you can earn they're doing 70% of all the tokens are going to an airdrop, and then there's another 5% that you can earn during the chill phase. Certainly, again, I'm not spending a whole lot of time on this stuff, just a little bit, just to keep the momentum going there. I do hope they do a better job of the airdrop. They say the token listing is going to be around October and mid-October, and so I kind of feel maybe the airdrop will be around a similar time. So just keeping an eye out for that one. Certainly, there are some other airdrops that I'm participating in. You can see those in the cheat sheet under I've got a tab there called airdrops there. I haven't added to any, I thought 10 was a good amount. And even then, I'm not even getting to all of those 10 on a daily basis because I'm only using my dead time. I'm not using any valuable time there. Okay, so let's jump into the news because Bitcoin has taken a little bit of a hammering. Alts have bled out a little bit there. And so we just want to see what's been going on. Is the bull run canceled? Now, I don't believe the bull run is canceled. This is just a pullback. And we saw pullbacks at the beginning of June, at the beginning of July, at the beginning of August, and the beginning of September. It's like, at some point you go, McFly, wake up here. This should have been the expectation. Also, I shared yesterday that generally speaking, the October low was generally in the first part of October, particularly in halving years. And that October low, when it comes in, is usually the low for the rest of the year. And so it's just playing out as it's normally played out so far. Now, look, if the cycle breaks, I'll be the first one to say, hey, I believe the cycle is broken. We need to change our tact here. We need to change our strategy here. But right now, the cycle is playing out like it has always played out. So here you have some short-term holder alerts, key support levels here, down prices above, what I'm looking here, prices above 61.K signal bullish trends. So that's kind of the main point that I wanted to get out of this tweet here. Keep an eye on those levels for makeshift. So we really need to get back above the 61.7. Low means bearish. And I do believe it's bearish. But ultimately also, I think while we are above the 200 EMA, that's bullish. Below 200 EMA is a more bearish kind of sentiment. We're right on it right now. We'll check the charts. Maybe we drop below it while we've been streaming here, but we'll check it out. And you can see what happened whenever the short-term holder cost basis got breached. It was it was fairly quickly reclaimed. Again, fairly quickly reclaimed here. And again, we've got a situation where we've blown below that, below this now. We've dropped below this chart. And so are we going to see the similar situation here and here as we saw it here? I just thought that was interesting to keep an eye on the short-term holder. It capitulated. It's kind of like the weak hands are out of the market and can't recover. It seems to be the case. On the Bitcoin daily chart, Bitcoin has just touched the descending trend line as a retest. Stochastic indicator also reached the oversold zone. Bitcoin could find the local bottom within a few days. And look, we're at here right now. Certainly, could we see a further drop down to the 57 to 58K region? Yes, it's certainly possible. And so be prepared for a possible further drop below the 200 EMA. Down there is some liquidity down there. There's some liquidation levels there. There's also some big buy orders there at 58K. And so at this point, I'm not prepared to call a local bottom. I'm just saying, use your dollar cost average strategy. Look at the levels on the cheat sheet, especially in the HODL. Certainly, it's for swing trades. You could just end up being stopped out pretty quickly. And so for swing trades, I'm kind of being careful at how I allocate there. I do have the altcoin show coming up in a couple of hours, so we will go over a bunch of altcoins there. So stay tuned. But certainly, we could certainly come down and wick down to 58, 57. Pop back up again, but that 200 EMA is holding for the meantime. We'll check out the charts in a moment there. And then we also have the Binance buy wall here. The price is being defended at 60,000 by the Binance buy wall. It's a powerful wall, the Binance buy wall. We're also on the 200-day. Yeah, so you can just see there's certainly, as we look, we'll just open this up a little bit more there. 20 billion shorts are going to be liquidated at 72K. There is way more liquidations up above than there is down below. Okay, there are liquidation levels you can see here down below. There is way more up above. Okay, so look, I'm not yet buying into this. We're going to the 40K region. I think it's too early. Look, is it possible? Of course, anything's possible, but we haven't even lost the 200 EM in the daily, and people are already, Bitcoin's last rights, like down into the 40Ks regions, the 43, 47, 48, whatever K people I've seen out there. And I just think it's a little bit too premature, okay? I'm not saying that Bitcoin, if we have some kind of a black swan event come through, that we can't dip down to those levels and can't get down there. I would certainly update my thinking on where we are in the 4-year cycle at that point. I just think it's a little bit too premature to be looking at those levels. I mean, we haven't even lost 60, let alone 57, let alone all the way down. Like there are a lot of levels to get through. So it's just a little bit premature. So I'm just trying to zoom out and give a bigger picture view. The market makers want that 20 billion, okay? There's a lot of greed going on in the crypto market. And so I just think that we're going to see that $72,000 level reclaimed. It's not a matter of if, but just when. And again, this is not financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Are you not entertained? And this is why also it's so important to be taking profits on the way up, because you don't know what's going to happen. What if we do go to the 40s? What if we do go to the low 50s? Lock in those profits. I did say just before this last dip, just a few days ago, you can go back to the video, that I was locking in profits at the tribal trades trend line, which we'll show to you in a moment. And that's why I said don't fade the triple T, the tribal trades trend line. And we'll have a look at that trend line in just a moment and how it reacted. Around 112 million in short positions will be liquidated. So not only will there be a bunch of liquidations at 20 billion at 72, there's also some liquidity above. So we could see a little bit of a short-term pump, that could turn into a little bit of long pump. What we're looking for is to create some higher lows. We don't want to create a lower low, and we're going to look at those levels in just a moment there. And then Bitcoin history has been such a great teacher for us on this channel. And it is really what I said to you back in September. I said the September low, when did it come in? The first 8 days of September. When the 6th of September hit, and I'm going to call it my dumb and dumb indicator right now. And I'm not going to talk about it today, but I came up with that with one of the awesome people that I was chatting with on training. We dumb and dumb indicator, and certainly I will teach a little bit more about not today, but we'll talk about it in a little bit. And I came up and said, look, my dumb and dumb indicators were firing that we were at a local bottom back in September, and I called it and said, hey, September 6th, the low is in. And then, of course, that ended up being the case as we had a September rather than a rectember, as many people had been predicting. It flipped the script. And so definitely history can teach us a lot. Here we say with history, Bitcoin cycle starts 170 days after the halving, peaks 480 days after the cycle. We're currently at 165 days after the Bitcoin halving. Enjoy the sale. And I do like that perspective. And I have nibbled there as we have had these dips, nibbled here and there. And so certainly let's jump into the Bitcoin charts and see what we've got here. Here is the tribal trades trend line. Don't fade the tribal trades trend line. Look what we had happen. Bang, hit that trend line. Sell. And when we hit this trend line up here, what did I tell you guys? I said I am taking profits off the table, and that's exactly what I did. And now I'm able to buy back more at a lower price. This is how you accumulate. This is how you win in the bull market. And that's why I do like those separate portfolios, the hodl there and the swing trade, where I can just take profits and be aggressive taking profits, all the while knowing that if we broke this trend line and we retested as support, I've still got my hodl bags, and I'm still in those swing trades anyway. I just like a TP1. This would be TP2 if we got up to here. So like raising your stop loss, raise your stop loss. If we drop, you'll get stopped out in profit, okay? If you enter a position down here and then you come all the way back and you lost all of those gains, move your stop loss up, protect the trade. If it keeps going higher, then you can just keep locking in gains, keep moving that stop loss up, okay? So as we can see, what have we got here? We've got a situation where we've got some pretty good response off the 200 EMA on the daily. There's the wicks are little, but there's wicks. It's not like they're hugging like over here. They're hugging over here. There's some wicking. Once I start to see that hugging, we might see a drop down into, oh, look, we've got the tribal trades trend line to the downside. And that's also been pretty decent, by the way, here. Right here, boom, place to buy. Boom, place to buy. If you bought these dips here, and this is, look, and this trend line goes all the way back. Here. And look at this trend line, by the way, actually was support. And right now that's being resistance. But these trend lines, this goes all the way back. I'm not going to keep going. So we're not messing around with this trend line. This is a good line here. But you can see this one here was one that was support. And then now it's been turning into resistance there. So when we break that trend line, that is going to be a pretty situation there. So we're looking at a situation where we can look at 60,000. Is this going to hold, or are we going to drop down a little bit lower? We've got the trend line down here at around about, look at the trend line. The tribal trades trend line is at 58K. There's a lot of longs that will be liquidated at 58K. There are a lot of buy orders at 58K. I'm looking for areas of confluence. Can we come down? And I'm not saying that we're going to 58K. Don't say, hey, are we going to 58K? We may not go to 58K. Some of that stuff is just to scare people, scare the pants off people so they won't buy here because they're waiting for here and then we never get to there. So here would be my strategy. And again, this is just my strategy. I'm accumulating here. I'm dollar cost averaging right in this zone right here. And if we drop down to this tribal trades trend line at about 58K or 57K, I'm accumulating here too, okay, right here as well. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for at the moment. Now, we do not want to see these candles breached, okay? This one here is at 57,493. That would create a lower low. Now, some people are not factoring that in, but look, that is there. We come down and done this. Some people are saying this is the lower low down here, and we don't want to lose that lower low. Well, yeah, I would agree. We don't want to lose this either. We don't want to lose 52,500. That would not be pretty. We would definitely be in some serious situation there. But some people are saying, hey, we're going to come down and we're going to come down and we're basically going to come down and hit this again. And that's possible. It's possible. But look, we haven't even lost this level here. Why are we talking about here when we haven't lost here? Let's talk about this when or if we lose this. Okay? And this is where you've got to watch who you watch and really take care of who you listen to. So if we lose this, the next area that I'm looking at is 57, 58. If we were to lose that, then yes, this comes back into play right here. But we haven't lost this. We haven't even come to here. Premature to talk about there, but certainly those are the levels that I'm looking at. If we get a bounce from here, we're looking at heading back above 62K, retest this as support, and then head back and look. And what we need to see is a lot of, we have tested. Eventually we're going to see a breakthrough here, and it may not come, until this smaller trend line inside here and this larger trend line from the top meet and converge, and we have some convergence there. So let's see how that plays out. What have I said all along? I've said all along that Bitcoin would trade in this channel here, in this wedge pattern here, okay, and that we would most likely see a breakout to the upside in this fourth quarter. And so we are still going. This is why you can make money trading the ups and downs. Some of you, I've been talking about on the training about learning how to swing and picking the swings. If you just bought here at the Dumb and Dumber indicator, the tribal trades Dumb and Dumber, and I talk about the Dumb and Dumber indicator, by the way, is that moment in the movie at the end when they're like talking about how they can't meet a beautiful, it's been a while, so if I don't quite get this wrong, please correct me. And I might just have to find a clip of this. And they're literally, a bus comes by of these women in bikinis asking if they know some guys that can be personal masseuses or something. And they're like, for a moment, you think they've got it, and they're like, oh yeah, this is it. And then they like, yeah, just back down that way, there's a town where there's some guys there, and like, if you're watching the movie going, and the girls are like, what on earth? And so this is what's called my Dumb and Dumber indicators here, where I called this because there were just so many areas of confluence. There was so much. This for me felt like a very easy call to make, is what I'm saying. A kind of Dumb and Dumber, like Captain Obvious. I could call it the Captain Obvious tip. And this is why I was able to say bottom was here. When it happened again, bottom was here. Bottom was here. If you watch my YouTube, you can go back to these channels. I correctly call these bottoms in Bitcoin. But here's the deal. You buy here, you sell here. You buy here a month later. And I mean, you don't even have to be super active. You just buy here at the beginning of July, and then you would have been selling at the end of July. And then you would be buying back at the beginning of August, and you would be selling or taking profit here, just in case we keep going up. But still, you're taking profit and selling here at the end of August, and then you're buying at the beginning of September, okay? And then you're selling at the end of September. Do you notice a pattern here, people? And this is why I'm buying at the beginning of October, and are we going to be selling at the end of October? Eventually, at some point, it's just going to keep going, and that is why I don't want to, I didn't completely close out of positions here. I took profit here, okay? And if you were trading here, you would have set a stop loss, and as it came down, you would have been stopped out in profit here as well. Okay, I hope that helped everybody today, and I certainly do appreciate all of you, and I hope you're going to tune in for my very next show, which is the altcoin show coming up in a couple of hours. So until then, happy trading.